To be curious is to save the world, because the world is within you and you are human. My mother used to say those words to me, and she inspired me a lot. Like when I was a little boy, I had a very vast imagination, and she inspired me to be curious, to explore what I wanted to explore, and to understand. And I did. I was really enamored by the things that I didn't understand. I spent a lot of time reading. Sometimes I was alone at elementary school recess, just reading books about things that I couldn't possibly understand, like nuclear physics. Granted, I barely had any idea what I was reading at the time, but I wanted to understand. And to me, it was more comfortable than playing with the other kids, because I didn't understand them, and I didn't think I could, and I didn't think they would understand me. But my mom supported my curiosity, and she understood. But despite my curiosity, I was still shallow. I was a moderately smart kid, and I struggled to be around people. And that was that. I didn't want to face being human. And that didn't really change. I tried to sidestep it, and I didn't try to overcome it. I wanted to avoid the realities of human nature. But some things come back to haunt you. Being human is kind of like a wall. And in everyone's life, maybe more times, and maybe in some people none, you hit that wall. And some people hit it pretty hard. I spent a lot of nights in the Dana-Farber Institute. My mother was diagnosed with cancer when I was about 13, and she died when I was about 15. And I was forced to face the realities of human nature. All my life, I was so curious about what was around me, and I was never curious about what was inside me. I became so lost in my own head at that time, but I managed to find something new. I found a new perspective on life, on humanity. I dug into the world of human understanding. My mother, before she passed, used to take me to the MIT bookstore, which is right down the road. And I read all kinds of books, from science fiction to psychology. And that was where I gained a small but superficial interest in philosophy and psychology. And it was never fully realized until after she passed away. But I heard a story called The Egg by Andy Weir. A man, after his death, meets God. And he learns in that moment that he will live through the lives of every person to ever exist. A cycle of rebirth, and he doesn't fully understand. But eventually he is told that it is how he will become a god. It is an egg to birth a god of empathy. After my mother's death, I gained a curiosity, a different curiosity for people, for myself, and for what makes us human. I changed, as many people do, but I didn't fully know it at the time. It wasn't until now that I really understood the change, or at least I think I do. I was recently asked if I could change one thing about myself. What would it be? And I said, I wish I could understand myself better. I wish I could be satisfied with who I am instead of trying to chase some unknown understanding or be constantly trying to change and not knowing what to change. Through my time at this program, I recalled the words of my mother. To be curious is to save the world, because the world is within you, and you are human. The best way I can hope to be satisfied with myself is to be curious about who I am. And not only me, but everyone around me. The world is within me because I am human, and the world is human. But I couldn't literally live the life of every person that would ever exist, so I wanted to settle for the next best thing. The FFI recipe is an acronym that stands for resilience, empathy, communication, impact, playfulness, and effort. An acronym to describe core values of being human and being part of a team. If I can't live the lives of every person, I can certainly learn how other people have summarized their lives and the lives of the people around them. Most importantly, from that core value, I find empathy. Not simply to understand the people around you, but to absorb their best qualities, step into their shoes, and understand their worsts. Through this, I felt more fulfilled. I felt happier. I stumbled upon an acronym, a key to understanding: kinship, environment, and you. For me, I see a spider web. Each strand is a bond between people. The bonds form the social environment that you live in. Every connection you make with every person, everybody in this room, everybody you've met at home, it's a web. And you, or me, a single node in this vast web of relationships and bonds. It's a web where I hope to build my understanding. And I believe that that's what my mom would want for me. To be curious, to explore, to experience life as it was meant to be. She gave me a gift, a way to connect to people by simply being human, and whatever fluid and unpredictable reality that entails. While drafting this speech, someone asked me how I might view human nature in the future, 10, 15, 20 years from now. The truth is, I'm not sure. But I know that through empathy and through curiosity, I will be able to understand a little bit better the world and the people that are around me and what it means to be human. Thank you.